So I made the mistake once again of tuning into a Monday Night Raw. And, I don't watch very much wrestling unless they come to town and I can go live. I enjoy it when it's live, and it's about every 2 years in Portland. You get a little bit of a kick out of it. But, I mean, what a piece of crap. I watch that every now and then just to remind myself what garbage it is. And I don't really have any idea why they can't seem to figure it out over there. It's as simple as they don't know how to write stories. They start guys and then they stop guys. They can't get the fans behind it. Look, Vince McMahon had an interest in buying the UFC. And he was going to buy, this is right when the Fox deal came out. Vince had come to the table with a number. And he wasn't going to go higher, and Fox went higher, and they got it. But Vince was just going to get it and shut it down. And he was even in an argument with his own son, Shane McMahon, who wanted to take it, and Shane wanted to run it. He was a big wrestling, or a big fight fan. This is the way that the story is told. I certainly wasn't, but I believe this story to be true. Everything seems in line. And Vince was a suitor for it, that I can confirm. But Vince's idea was buy it and shut it down. It's on pay-per-view. They're a direct competitor. Let's just get rid of this. Shane had a different idea of no, I want to run it. That was a little bit of a dispute, but Vince is very well known for coining the phrase that you cannot build a champion. You cannot build a star unless you can control the outcomes. He's famous for that. But he's starting and stopping guys nonstop. He's starting storylines and then he's stopping storylines. He has the ability through the power of the pin and the eraser on the other side to do whatever he wants. They can't get a good story. So Monday Night Raw the other night, I'm glad I watched. They had absolutely no show because it's rotten garbage over there, and they're hanging their hat on the idea of we don't have any talent, which is baffling to me. How you would not have talent when you don't even need it. It's not real. It's not an actual... What do you mean you don't have talent? You don't have guys that can do Hurricane Karanas and DDTs? What do you mean you don't have talent? Your problem is the storyline sucks. So for Monday Night Raw, here's what they did. Okay, look, we're calling it in. We're sailing it in. We have nothing to do. We're going to bring in every star in the history of wrestling, from Stone Cold to Ric Flair and everybody in between. We're just going to let them make cameos all night long. Great. I bet the ratings did great. I tuned in just to see it. I wanted to hear the glass break. I want to see Stone Cold walk out, see what happened next. See the whole thing. See if Jake the Snake shows up. See if the Honky Tonk Man's there. I don't know what's going to go on. I love the idea. I got it. But that's sailing it into the highest of levels, and it is a little bit confusing to me. It is a little bit confusing to me that the chairman, Vince McMahon, is letting the writers tell him, well, we don't have any talent. You don't have any talent? It's not real. You want to go out there and put on matches that don't look like a fight. They do not look competitive. They look as though the guys are cooperating with each other. Because guess what? The guys are cooperating. We understand that. But that does not go in line with the promos and the interviews and the t-shirts and the signs and the 80% of the show that you spend trying to get us to buy into this is the good guy versus this is the bad guy. Into buying in that these two who are buddies behind the scene have actual heat. That's the entire business. So if you've let down the fourth curtain, as I'm well aware they have since 1989, I get it. I know the whole story. I know about the trial. I know about Vince being sworn in under oath. I know the entire story. But so many people that like to be the smart marks to go, well, Chael, this isn't really competitive, and let's just see an athletic contest and see who's crazier and see who can climb up the highest rope and do the most flips before they crash through a table. That doesn't go hand in hand with then trying to do 80% of the show, I might add, storylines of building heat. Never in the history of wrestling, which has done a great business, by the way. Could you imagine anybody coming out and telling you, hey, by the way, this is all fake? And then evoking an emotion from the crowd anyway? Selling out an arena? Having somebody buy a t-shirt on the way out and having some people leave in tears because they didn't get the outcome that they wanted to, all while telling them this is make-believe? It's a fascinating business. But you can't have 80% of your product trying to build heat. They have never in the history of wrestling have two guys backstage and go, hey, we're buddies and we rode here together and we got a match tonight and let's go out and entertain the crowd. Okay, great. Your music, my music, let's shake hands. Everything's wonderful and we wrestle back and forth. It doesn't work that way. Nobody wants to see it. The entire business is built around heat. So if the matches are fake, obviously the heat is fake. So the entire skill there is to make us believe, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're more than willing as fans to suspend reality. We have seen movies before. We have turned on television before. We're well aware that this is a performance. This isn't real. We get it. We're on board. But it's still then meant to look as though it's conflict with conflict resolution, which is said match. Somebody's dreams are going to be dashed and somebody is going to be propelled. You want to see the guy that you don't like be held back, and the guy that you're cheering for move up the ladder. That's what it is. That's what it used to be. There used to be actual discussions about actually intelligent people debating the topic back and forth. Is this real? But the only reason that worked wasn't because Vince McMahon went on trial in 1989 and some scumbag asked him the question just to be a jerk and ruin the whole thing while he's under oath. It wasn't just that. It was because the moves that they used looked real. That's what you'd actually do in a fight. You'd walk out and punch somebody in a fight. When you got tired of punching him, you kick him in the stomach. That looked real. And then after you do that a few times, you're going to grab a headlock and just hold it so you can catch a breather. That looked real. And maybe you'd slam him, maybe you do something in the ropes, or maybe you give him a close-up. That all looked real. Hitting a triple flip off the top rope while the guy lays staged for you does not look real. Hulk Hogan used to get teased. He didn't know the difference between a wrist lock and a wristwatch. I think Bobby Heenan or Gorilla Monsoon said that about Hulk Hogan. And it was true because he didn't go out there. He didn't wrestle. He didn't go out and do these large sequences back and forth. He came out there like a brute that was billed at 6'7" with 24-inch pythons from Venice Beach, California. He evoked an emotion from the crowd. He made you believe that he was the good guy. And whoever he was taking on must be some representative of evil. And he was going to overcome that. Wearing the cross and blessing himself and talking about your vitamins and your prayers and whatever the shtick was. And it didn't matter if he'd hit you with a right hand in the face and one boot to the chops before he covered you for the 1, 2, 3. He could sell out any arena in the world. And now people want to learn how to be really great wrestlers. What does that mean? To do a 4-spot sequence? To tell a story during the match? To drag it on and on? It either looks like something you would see in a real fight between two guys who are allegedly going out there to pin or submit each other, or it doesn't. And to say that you don't have any talent when 80% of it is talking and 20% of it is the match? What do I even call it? The match? That's a cop-out to the highest of levels. This is entertainment. Make your show. Make me believe it. The whole thing's based on evoking an emotion. Do it or don't. And right now, that rotten garbage for about the 4th year in a row is not.